Hey guys, this is Nate with First Lite. We're gonna be going through a quick and easy duck recipe. There's a lot of stigma around duck breast just not being the most desirable meat out there. So that's kind of why we're gonna go through this recipe, is because if you learn to cook it the right way, you can get a pretty tasty meal out of it. First things first, you need some duck breasts. We'll cut these open and get them in the Ziploc. We'll start with some soy sauce and get that in the plastic bag. Next, we're gonna be using olive oil. And the big one is this Mongolian fire oil. Gonna add a ton of heat, and it actually goes really well with the flavor of the breast itself, so it's kind of like this gamey flavor. We'll go with the fresh garlic cloves. We'll go ahead and get our sesame oil, which is this guy. Let's get about a tablespoon in there or so. Next, we'll just be chopping up some tarragon and throwing that in there. Really, this is to taste. Feel it out, you figure out what works for you. Go ahead and put that in there as well. So the next step is we'll be marinating these for at a minimum an hour. If you can marinate it for longer overnight or something like that, it definitely adds to the flavor. All right, so we got our marinated duck breast here out of the fridge. We're gonna lightly coat the pan with this olive oil. We just want something to just prevent it from sticking too bad. So we're gonna pull the breast out of the bag and just quickly give it a pat down. We want them kind of dry as they hit the pan. I'm gonna go ahead and toss those bad boys in there. And I got the pan right now on like a medium heat. Usually I try to keep it like between a medium and a high. You're gonna notice like everything's gonna kind of shrink right away. If you're cooking it with the skin on, that skin's gonna instantly kind of crinkle up, and that's a good thing. That's what we want. So go ahead and do that. Skin side down always. Really key here, really just to get them hot. It depends on the size, but between 4 and 6 minutes, that's gonna get you like a medium rare kind of temperature rating. They will be red, but that's what you want. Definitely the biggest mistake when you're cooking duck, and why most people think it tastes bad, is because they're overcooking it. A good way to check where you're at as far as that goes is you might just give them a little flip. Like that one, we'll say is ready to rock and roll, and you got a good little crust on the outside. When I got them flipped over, I'm gonna season it to taste with a little bit of salt on the outside. I really like to do the ones with the skin on. I like to hit that with salt because the skin really absorbs that flavor. At this point, what I really like to do and how I like to serve duck, just because it is kind of one of those meats where you're not sure where the doneness is all the time, is I always do like to cut them. But the key to before you cut them is really just to let them sit, because even once you cut them, you're gonna lose the juices that you should be getting while they're on the plate, but also you're losing that cook time as well. So once they've kind of gotten more cool to the hand is when you can go ahead and cut them. And that's usually how I like to serve them. A breast like this, I would like to typically serve as like an appetizer. There's a few kind of good chutneys that you can serve it with, something kind of sweet, a little tartness that actually goes with the game meat really, really well. So we're gonna go ahead and give this a try here before we serve it to our guests, otherwise we wanna make sure it tastes good. I gotta say, anybody who says duck is bad doesn't know what they're talking about.